Hey, it's James and Michael from the Crypto Guys. Are we in a bear market or is this a correction? What's the difference between those two and why it matters? We're going to explain all of that in this video today. So make sure you watch this video to the very end because we're going to share some things that are going to help you understand what might be the worst case scenario for Bitcoin. So, Michael, let's dive into this.
Sure. Yeah. So I think, is it a bear market? I've been doing a lot of research on this. So let's start first with the S&P 500, because you got to remember that Bitcoin follows the S&P 500. And I've been showing that on my channel many, many times. So I think the confusion is people think it's a bear market when it's not. And we have to understand what the difference is between a correction and a bear market. So let's start with that. A correction is minus 10 to minus 20%. Okay, so that's the first point. What's the first point? That a correction is between minus 10 and minus 20%. So now let's pause there for one moment and look, where's the S&P 500, right? If we take to the top here, right, and go to the bottom, which would be about here, we're at minus 14.3. So we're already above the average because a correction on average will go minus 13.7%. Yeah. And it happens once every 2 years. Okay, so we'll come back to this once every 2 year point. So we're already over the average. Okay, so it is a serious correction. Now, a bear market on the other hand has to be over minus 20%. On average, a bear market will go down by 32.5%, and it happens once every 9 years. So big difference is the time, right? A bear market happens once every 9 years. Whereas a correction happens every 2 years. Now, when's the last time that the S&P 500 went below more than minus 32%? And the answer is in 2020 during the COVID. So if you go back there, right here, that was the bottom, and we measure, okay, well, how low did it go? And it went like minus 35%, okay? And that was how long? Well, about 2 years ago, because it happened in March 2020, right? And now we're 2022. So what do we say? A correction happens every what? 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, it's 2 years. So it's 2 years later, and people are saying we're back in a bear market. I'm not sure I agree with that. According to the data, we're not going to have another bear market until when? 2029. Right. So why would people say it's a bear market when it's 2 years later from 2020? So, to me, the data suggests it's not a bear market. It's simply a correction, which must happen on average every 2 years, which is exactly what we're seeing, isn't it? So make sure to subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow, we're going to go in details on the data and all this to give you a sense of confidence about trading, because right now, everybody is so scared, I feel, and there's so much doubt and FUD being spread from the community and the crypto, because nobody wants to say, yeah, buy the bottom, buy down. Well, you know, of course, I understand why they would say that, but we have to make the distinction first. It's smart to make the distinction. Is it a correction or a bear market? Right now, as it stands, we are not in a bear market. We are in a correction, and we may have already reached the bottom. It is very possible that this is the bottom. And tomorrow we will explain to you why we say that and how that we potentially could be switching gears and back into an upward momentum. Now, it's also important to show you that we did get rejected from the bull market support band here for the S&P 500. So as we said, we turned around, we tried to go up, we got rejected, we made a lower low, and now we're going back. So of course, the game is not over. All I'm saying is that it's 2020 was a bear market, and now we're in 2022, and it looks like a correction. So I don't want to make the problem worse than what it really is, right? That's what I'm saying. So let's talk about Bitcoin. Right now, first of all, the first thing I want to tell you is that we have a bullish divergence for Bitcoin. Now, bullish divergence are good for trading, right? Because they show you a change in momentum from a downtrend to an uptrend. So if we just zoom in on there, we take this and can do like this. You can clearly see the bullish divergence, okay? And yeah, let's just take a look. So that means that the price was going down, but the indicator was going up. We can all see that on the line. And now we broke through the resistance and we're going up. And the question is, how high are we going to go? Well, I do think that we're going to have to retest, right, some resistance at some point. So let's go through what those resistance are so we can all understand what might stop Bitcoin from going up, right? And one of the big resistance that we have is this downward channel, right, which we have been talking about many, many times. And you can see during the time that has been below this bull market support band, we've got rejected once, 2, and 3 times. And we had a breakout, but it was a fake out. And now we're back into this descending channel. But what's interesting is that when we started crashing down, we were in the lower part of the channel. You can see the midpoint is here, and we never broke. We were at the bottom part. Then we broke above that. That's important. And now, even though we're still in the channel, we are above that blue line. And we actually had a breakout, went back in it, and now we're retesting that line right here. Okay, so what happens if we break it? Well, if we break it, we're going to retest the bull market support band, right? And we'll go all the way up to 44,000. So that's my prediction. If we break that resistance, we're going back to 44,000, right? That makes a lot of sense. We experience it once, or are we going to try it again? That's the question. Now, there's a good chance that we will. And we can also see this playing out, right? We have a support at the bottom and a resistance on the top. And we got rejected many times here, right? Over and over again, we got rejected. So potentially we could revisit that, which is all the way back to 43.7, exactly at the bull market support band, right? Which is about 44. It's a little bit like a little bit higher, actually. So if we're, but you can see the green line is moving down, right? So right, pretty much where the resistance is. So that green line is the bull market support band, which we're now under it, and we're kind of moving our way back up there. So that's kind of where we are. We need to wait and see what's going to happen. So now the S&P 500 just opened, and we are getting a little bit of a red candle, but nothing really serious. Let's see what's going to happen this week with the S&P 500. But the real level we need to watch on the S&P 500 will be that 4,116 right here. We cannot break that, because if we break that, well, it doesn't mean that we're now in a bear market, right? It wouldn't mean that. As I said, it can go as low as minus 20%, as long as it doesn't go lower than 20%. Now, if you want to know where that is, it's going to be all the way down to here. So we have a lot of room to go down. Now, I will mention that if we get a strong correction, like we were to go all the way down here, right? What will that mean for Bitcoin? Well, then there's a good chance that we will go to the 200-week moving average, which I will explain later. But we wouldn't go there right away. I think if that's going to happen, it would do it very slowly. But it's also possible that it happens by one candle also if there's a panic. But you got to understand that for Bitcoin, we have a lot of support at the 30K, right? Where my buy levels are. If you go back, right, we have buy levels 1, 2, and 3, so which we haven't reached yet. So anyway, that's what I've got for you today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research, okay? So
for sure. That's just excellent technical analysis. Thank you for sharing that. You know, right now in the crypto community, there's so much, well, not only is there so much fear, uncertainty, and doubt, but even among those who YouTubers and those that are well-versed in the space, they're not even sure, you know, what's going on and what's going to happen. But again, like everything, of course, you can't predict the future, but good technical analysis can reduce a lot of risk. And so that's what we're trying to do here in this channel, to help you out, to help you understand these bigger trends, these bigger pictures. So yes, as Michael said, make sure you subscribe to the channel and keep coming back here. Tomorrow we'll continue on this because, like we always say, there's always money to be made in the market, whether it's going up or whether it's going down. You just have to make good decisions, and the technical analysis helps you do that.
exactly. All right, guys, see you tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Bye for now.
All right, see ya.